experiment number 5. Experiment number 5. Open loop tuning. Open loop tuning. Okay. So for this experiment purpose, select level process. Select level process. Okay. And corresponding settings. Okay. So the first step is procedure point. So this is first step. So second step is select manual mode. Okay. So for both group, select manual mode. You have to select the manual controller. Okay. So simultaneously I am drawing the graph also. So this is time. This is both control output, that is P, and also the controlled variable or process variable, that is CP. So two things are shown here. Okay. So one is control output. I told you one is control output. So we can take different color. So P, so that is control output. Then CP is the process variable, means controlled variable. Okay, if it is level, level is the controlled variable, right? Okay. Now the third step is select a particular value for, means give a particular manual control output. Say P1, we can say it as P1 in percentage. So P1 must be in percentage. So select 10%. So give P1 equal to 10%. So what you have to do? Select level process, then select the manual mode. So please note, those who are using mobile application, there is no need to use level process. Instead of selecting level process, go to that process configuration, give the dead time and lag time. So during the second experiment, I ask you to substitute some value. So select the same value. Okay. So that is different. This first step is different for these two groups. Otherwise, you have to follow the same step. From second step onwards, you have to follow the same step. Second step is select manual mode. Third step is select the manual value, manual control output, P1 in percentage equal to 10%. Okay. So here pictorially, please note at some time, at a particular time, you are changing the value of manual control output to 10%. So this is P1. Okay. So this is P1 in percentage. So please note P1 and P and CP are in percentage. So that is very important. Both P and CP are in percentage. So this P1 is in percentage. Okay. So here it is 10%. The time at which that one is changed into 10%, that is not important. So this is equal to 10%. This time is not important. So now what is the first step that you have to do? So the first step is, so do initially the control output, the level may be at some point. We don't know at what point the current level. So after changing the manual mode to 10%, you have to allow the process variable to settle at some point. So this one is level, usually that one is 0 centimeter. If you are giving 10% manual input, definitely level will change. Okay. So initially that is 0 centimeter or 0%. So after this step, level will change to a new value somewhere here. Okay. So level will settle at a new point. So you have to take, or you have to label this steady state value of level as CP1. This one is CP1 in percentage. Okay. So what is the first step? Note the steady state value of CP1. note the steady state value of Cp. So you have to take it as Cp1 in percentage. Okay. Once it's settled, then you have to change the value of manual control output. So change the value of manual control output to a new value. You can take it as P2 in percentage. So for convenience, take it as 50%. So the new manual output is 50%. When once Cp is settled, you are going to change the P value from 10% to 50%. So this one is a new step value. Okay, means from this point onwards, so this is the point at which we are changing the value of manual control output from 10% to 50%. So we can label this time as T1. So T1 is the time at which we are changing the value of control output from P1 to P2, where P2 is equal to, for this experiment purpose, P2 is equal to 50%. Okay, and what is T1? That T1 is the time at which we are giving a step change, a change in manual control output. So this one is a step size, and that step size is nothing but 50 minus 10, that is 40. So you have to note that value also, the change in manual control output. So process point of view, that one is the input. So that is delta P in percentage is equal to P2 in percentage minus P1 in percentage. Both are in percentage. So delta P in percentage is the step input that we had given to the process, that is equal to delta P in percentage is equal to P2 minus P1. Is it clear? Am I audible? Okay. So what about the process? So definitely the process will respond to the step change, right? So response will be something like this one. Response will be something like this one. So here you can see a number of characteristics. Initially, so this one is the time at which the step input is given, right? So what about the response? Initially the response is negligible. Somewhere here you can see that the process is not responding. Even if it is responding, that response or the change in that output, this one is the output, the process variable is the output of that process. So the response of that process is negligible or very small. And after that time, you can see that we have a noticeable change in process variable. So here we can see a change in process variable. So this is one region. This is second region. What about the third region? Here you can see that the process variable is settled at a new point. Am I correct? So first you have to note this new settled value. That is the first thing you have to do. So the seventh step is note down the new settled value, that is Cp2 in percentage. So please note Cp is the process variable, Cp1 is the Cp1 is the previous settled value, previous settled value corresponding to P1. Once it is settled, we are giving a step change from P1 to P2 in percentage. So with respect to that step change, definitely the process variable change from Cp1 to Cp2. It will take some time. So what we have to do, we are noting the second settled value. We have to note the second settled value. This one. So this one is the new settled value Cp2 in percentage. So now what we have? we have CP1, we have CP2, that we have to note from the graph. First you have to draw the graph, or you have to save the graph. So from that graph you have to note CP1 in percentage and CP2 in percentage. So for that purpose, what you have to do, take the scale, okay, then so keep it parallel to this one, then draw a straight line to the y-axis. So from that y-axis you can note CP2, similarly you can note the CP1. Am I correct? Okay, so this one is a thing you have to do. So now how many variables are there? You have delta P in percentage, that is P2 minus P1. You have CP1 in percentage. You have CP2 in percentage. Then what are the remaining thing? You have T1. You have to note that value T1. Okay. What is T1? T1 is the time at which the step change is given. Okay. That is from P1 to P2. That one is given at the time T1. Now again select scale. Okay, so here before selecting scale, here you can see that from I told you here, even if the process variable is changing, that change is negligible, and here that change is increased, means the slope of this curve is increased. Now somewhere here that slope is maximum, okay, then it is decreasing, that slope is decreasing. So here the slope is again 0. So what is happening? Here slope is 0. Slowly that slope is increasing. At a particular point slope is maximum. Okay. After that point again the slope is decreasing. Okay. So somewhere here the slope is maximum. The point at which the slope is maximum is known as inflection point. Inflection point. The point at which the slope is maximum is known as inflection point. Is it okay? What is the importance of this inflection point? Up to that point the slope is slowly increasing. From that point slope is decreasing. Mean inflection point is the point at which the slope is up to that point slope is increasing, and from that point onwards the slope is started to decrease. Okay, so what you have to do, select scale, okay, then draw a tangent through this inflection point. So what is tangent? Tangent is the straight line that is parallel to a curve at a particular point. So now you can see that this is not parallel, right? Again change the inclination of this scale, means alignment of this elevation of this scale. So now you can see that the scale is parallel. So this one is the inflection point. So through this inflection point draw a straight line or draw a dotted line. Okay. So this one is a tangent of the curve at inflection point. Inflection point is the point at which the slope of the curve is maximum, and this one is a tangent of this curve at inflection point. Now two more straight line you have to draw. So two more inflection point, that is two more straight line you have to draw. Okay. First one you have CP1, right? This is CP1. So already you have drawn a dotted line from this steady state value to the y-axis. Am I correct? So now you have to continue this dotted straight line to this tangent. So what is happening? this CP1 horizontal line is intersecting with this tangent at this point. Okay, so you have to note the corresponding time. So that is T2. Okay, so this is T1 at which the step is given. This is T2 where CP1 horizontal line, the steady state line of CP1, that one is intersecting with the tangent. Now what you have to do? You have to draw another straight line, okay, from this second steady state point, that is CP2, to left. Okay, so you can see that is intersecting with the tangent. Right. So the time at which CP2 horizontal line that is intersecting with the tangent, we can label it as T3. We can label it as T3. So you can see three time values T1, T2, T3. Then you have P1, P2. So the difference is delta P, P2 minus P1. Then similarly you have CP2, CP1. Okay. So please note T1, then T2, then T3. Okay. Also note you have CP1, here you have CP1, here you have CP2. So what is the change in process variable? That is in percentage delta Cp, that is in percentage equal to Cp2 minus Cp1 in percentage. Okay. So delta Cp is a change in process variable, that is Cp2 minus Cp1. So you can see 3 time units and 4 process units, that is P1, P2, Cp1, Cp2. Then from all this you have delta P, that is change in input, that is step input. Then you have delta Cp, that one is a change in process variable, that one is a steady state change in output variable. Okay. So now you are going to start the calculation. So already you calculate delta P and delta Cp. Now you can see that from T1 to T2, this is T1 where the step is given, this is T2. You can see that from T1 to T2, the response of the process is negligible. The response of the process is negligible. So we can call it as the lag. So the 12th one is lag. So lag L is equal to T2 minus T1. Lag L is equal to T2 minus T1. Now from T2 to T3, you can see that the response is maximum. So here you can see an important thing. If you are, I told you this one is the point at which the slope is maximum, and we had drawn a tangent through this point. Means the slope of this tangent is exactly equal to the maximum slope. So what is happening? If you are maintaining this slope, time required to change the process variable from the initial value Cp1 to the final value is nothing but T3 minus T2. It is known as response time or time constant. It is known as the response time or time constant. So time constant is nothing but the time required to change the process variable, the output variable, from its initial value to its final steady state value, that is time constant or response time. Okay. So you have to note that response time, that is 18. So this is response time. T is equal to T3 minus T2. Okay. So by using this delta Cp, delta P, L and T, we are going to calculate the required parameters. So here we are going to tune the PID controller. So if you are tuning a PID controller, what are the calculations required? First you have to calculate the reaction rate N. N is the reaction rate. What is the unit of reaction rate N? That is percentage per second. So this is percentage per second. So this reaction rate is equal to delta Cp delta Cp divided by T. This is delta Cp. This difference is delta Cp. Divided by time is nothing but the slope, the rate of change of this process, the rate of change of this reaction to this step change. So this one is the rate of change of that reaction. So it is known as a reaction rate, that is equal to the change in steady state change in output divided by the response time capital T. So N is equal to delta Cp divided by T. Please note delta Cp in percentage. Now what is the next one? If you are tuning a PID controller, then what is Kp? Kp is equal to 1.2 delta P divided by NL. Kp is equal to 1.2 into delta P divided by NL. So this is Kp. Then what is Ti? Ti is equal to 2L. Ti is equal to 2L. What about Td? Td is equal to 0.5 into L. So you can see the integral time. Ti is the integral time, that is equal to 2 into L, and Td is equal to 0.5 into L. So Td is equal to 0.5 into L. So T is integral time. So from this one you can calculate Ki. So what is Ki? Ki is the reciprocal of Ti. Ki is the reciprocal of Ti. And what is Kd? Kd is exactly equal to Td. So Kd equal to Td. So 0.5 L. Okay. So this one is a procedure.